call the roll.
Ms. Barraza?
Okay.
Mr. Erickson?
Here.
Ms. King? Mr. Riggi?
Here.
Ms. Blanchard?
Here.
Ms. Brucker?
Present. Okay, we have no public hearings scheduled for this evening. Next, I would ask for a motion to approve the minutes. Approval of the minutes moved by Mr. Riggi, seconded by Councilmember King. All those in favor? Aye. Okay, those minutes are approved. Committee reports. Any committee reports this evening? Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Madam President. Just quickly, I wanted to highlight a couple items that are at the end, I think 12, 13, and 14. Purchases of fluoride, purchase of liquid chlorine, and orthophosphate. Chemicals we buy every year that go into our water system to help keep things, I guess, working well in that system. And wanted to commend the folks in the water company that manage the bids. I'm always kind of making some noise saying, hey, I think we need to have more bidders and encourage more people to participate. In the competitive situation we had this year, we were able to save, I think it was a little over $8,000 in cost reduction just by getting competitive bids. And so I just wanted to point that out. It was a good win. By all means, not a huge mover, but in terms of dollars that we're going to feel a big effect on. But at any rate, I think it was a good thing. We got some savings in that. So I wanted to highlight that.
Great, appreciate that. Thank you very much. I seem to have neglected, we have several items out of order this evening, ceremonial resolutions. And the first resolution is recognizing and honoring the accomplishments of Susie Walsh, the 2001 Schenectady School District Teacher of the Year.
By Ms. Walsh, join me inside the rail. She was recognized at a very nice gathering at the Stockade Inn by the Educational Foundation.
We're happy she could be here tonight, and you have the floor.
Okay. Whereas Susie Walsh, a ninth grade English teacher in the Edison School of Math, Science, and Technology at Schenectady High School, was named the 2011 Schenectady City School District Teacher of the Year. And whereas Ms. Walsh began teaching in the district in 2001 and serves as the Math, Science, Technology House ninth grade team leader, working diligently to help create a new format for the freshmen at the high school, embracing a collaborative approach to teaching and embracing new strategies and technology that can be incorporated into her lessons. And whereas Ms. Walsh has served in an array of leadership roles in the district, including being the director of the Schenectady Teacher Center, a member of the Professional Development Plan Committee and the Curriculum Coordination Council, and a professional development facilitator for the 2007-2008 school year, and again in 2011. Now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Schenectady pauses in its deliberations to reflect upon and commend the selfless service and commitment of Ms. Susie Walsh, whose dedication to education has greatly enhanced the lives and development of countless young people of the city, and on behalf of a grateful city, expresses appreciation for her dedicated service and many achievements. I move adoption of the resolution.
And seconded by Councilmember Erickson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Congratulations, Ms. Walsh.
Thank you very much. I do have to say that one of the best parts of my job is being proud of Schenectady and everything that we do. Schenectady High is probably one of the most underrated but most overwhelming place. It's a wonderful place. We educate wonderful students and we change lives forever. So thank you very much.
Legislative items number 10 and number 11, which number 10 is a resolution recognizing Martin Luther King Day in the city of Schenectady, and the second resolution, both presented by Councilmember Perazo, is a resolution recognizing and commending historic achievements of African Americans and declaring February 2012 Black History Month. We've asked the individuals from the Human Rights Commission who work so hard every year to put on the Martin Luther King Day celebration to come up and join us as we read these resolutions.
Thank you. I just want everyone to note these are two separate and distinct resolutions, both having significance and importance. So bear with me because you're going to be hearing my voice for a little while, but both are well worthy of the time spent. So this is a resolution recognizing Martin Luther King Day in the city of Schenectady. Whereas Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was born January 15, 1929, was a Baptist minister, and became a civil rights activist early in his career. And whereas in 1955, Dr. King led the Montgomery, Alabama bus boycott to protest the arrest of Rosa Parks and the segregation of the bus system of Montgomery, which is recognized as the first great non-violent civil rights demonstration of contemporary times in the United States, and was an impetus for the 1956 Supreme Court decision holding laws requiring segregation on buses unconstitutional. And whereas on August 28, 1963, Dr. King led the March on Washington, D.C., the largest rally of the civil rights movement, during which, from the steps of the Lincoln Memorial, and before a crowd of more than 200,000 people, Dr. King delivered his famous I Have a Dream speech, one of the classic orations in American history. And whereas in the face of hatred and violence, Dr. King preached a doctrine of nonviolence and civil disobedience to combat segregation, discrimination, and racial injustice, and believed that people have the moral capacity to care for other people. And whereas in 1964, at the age of 35, Dr. King became the youngest man to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in recognition for his exemplary work. And whereas Dr. King, also instrumental in the passage of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965, whereas on the evening of April 4th, 1968, Dr. King was assassinated while standing on the balcony of his motel room in Memphis, Tennessee, where he was preparing to lead sanitation workers in a protest against low wages and intolerable working conditions. And whereas Dr. King was the leading civil rights advocate of his time, spearheading the civil rights movement in the United States during the 1950s and 1960s, and earning worldwide recognition as an eloquent and articulate spokesperson for equality. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the mayor and the city council observe Martin Luther King Jr. Day in the city of Schenectady, pledge to advance the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and encourage the residents of the city of Schenectady to rededicate themselves to Dr. King's message of human rights.
Seconded by Councilmember Riggi. All those in favor? Motion carries. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. On behalf of the Schenectady County Human Rights Commission, I'm Angelica Morris. I'm the chair of that commission. I brought a few of my commissioners with us. There's a 15 commissioner membership appointed from the county legislature. First, we have Commissioner Chris Gilloway, we have Commissioner Randy Magoo, Commissioner Kareem Odin-Hassan, and our Executive Director, Brian Wright. And our commission is, this year we want to promote and educate the community about what the commission does. And it's our duties is to enhance and to protect and ensure that all residents of the city and the county, your rights are protected. And so and this year and years beyond, we want to work with you as a community. We want to be your voice. We want to be your advocates. And we want to come to all your neighborhood association meetings. We want to come to your organization and let you know we are here to support you. We are here to do the work of you. So thank you for honoring us Councilmember Rucker and all the council for all you have done for us, and we want to be a partner with you and support you here in the city and county. And we thank you, Mayor McCarthy, for coming to our MLK event, and also Councilmember Perazo, Councilmember King, and also Councilmember Rucker for being in attendance. That was very supportive to us, and we appreciate that. So we want to say thank you, and on behalf of the commission, we want to say thank you.
Thank you.
Additionally, you'd like to bring up for the commemoration of Black History Month? So this is a resolution recognizing and commending the historic achievements of African Americans and declaring February 12th Black History Month. Whereas in or about the year 1619, a judgeship delivered 20 kidnapped Africans to the settlement of the British colonies of Jamestown, Virginia. And thereafter, over the course of more than 200 years, slavery was allowed to spread unimpeded throughout the American colonies and then the United States, subjecting an undeserving race to a life of inhumane subservience and inequality, forcing innocent men, women, and children to endure lives characterized by hardship and brutality, and depriving those so enslaved the promise of very truths deemed self-evident at the founding of this great nation, that all men and women are created equal, that all are endowed by God with those cherished and unalienable rights for which our founding fathers fought to rid this continent of tyranny, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And whereas, although the Union victory in the Civil War gave freedom for some 4 million slaves, that bitter and costly war between our nation's northern and southern states beset our African American brothers and sisters on a course to face further indignity in the form of the hatred and bigotry born of a wounded nation, and from which arose additional challenges and deprivations, and whereas, ignoring the suffering and injustice perpetuated upon them, the African American citizens of this nation persevered in their quest to achieve the equality which they justly deserve, and have contributed equally to the advancement of humanity and the betterment of human condition, leaving their legacy for future generations through their contributions in agriculture, education, literature, and writing, law, and philosophy, government and politics, and service to our nation's military, in all scientific disciplines, in music, dance, in the arts, in athletics, in space exploration, and in every conceivable field of human endeavor and service. And whereas the city of Schenectady shares proudly in the long unrealized dream of its African American citizens through the accomplishments of its own African American community, past and present. And whereas, while we acknowledge that our fight against bigotry, hatred, discrimination, and injustice is far from ended, we now pause to reflect upon the achievements and contributions of our fellow African Americans, a race of men that endured adversity and patience and courage, a race of men and women who fought and died with the nation nonetheless, and in unison proclaim with all Americans of whatever race and creed our common commitment to the world, as a bell shattering the darkness of the past, bringing out to all people the promise of freedom and all that men and women in